Hey guys, it's me Tilly, and today I'm back with another video for Mir4. Today I'm gonna try to answer some of the most commonly asked questions from the official Discord and some things that I usually do look for when I start playing a game. With that being said, if any of these are actually helpful to you or if you just enjoyed the video whatsoever, I'd be quite happy to get either your subscription or your follow, however much the information is worth to you. So, you decided to play Mir4 and now you're stuck with the question that is as old as time: which character do you play? There's for example the warrior, who is kind of your tank in this game. He does have an AoE grab to pull people in, CC them a bunch and have some defensive capabilities. There's your secondary melee class, the lancer, who excels at player versus player content since he has lots of crowd control abilities, which can also be used in PvE scenarios. For example, during boss fights when there's lots of ads spawning, you can actually control them very well while having still a big amount of damage on that character. There is your Tao, which is a range supportive class that also deals a bunch of damage. If you can't pick whether you want to support or deal damage, the Tao actually does a pretty good job doing both at the same time. And the fourth class right now is the sorceress. She is just your absolute damage machine when paired up in parties. By herself, she has good damage, but she needs someone else to apply status effects for her that she cannot apply herself in order to trigger her high damage combos. So now, after finally picking your class, you've been playing for a while and you notice the thing you hate the most about such games: your inventory is full. Yes, that is a problem in this game. However, I have two fixes for you. First one, head over to the premium shop, and don't worry, no real life money needed. You can actually buy it with copper, which is the in-game currency. Just follow the steps that I'm going through right here. It will cost you 1.2 million copper to buy another 100 slots, which is almost doubling your base. And on top of that, if you still need more slots, or if you have some items that you're not sure whether you need them later or not, there is actually a storage. Just head over to Bitjon Castle. I will obviously also show it on screen right now where you can find it, and you can store some up for later to get your inventory a bit less crowded. The next thing that is probably gonna happen to you is you will run out of potions, and here's two things you need to know. The first one is you can buy those from NPCs all around the world. Just open your map and search for them. The second thing is, do not get baited by large potions, because large potions do not have a higher base healing or mana regeneration than the medium ones. They do give you a percentage based on your max HP and mana pool. That means in order for a large potion to even heal for more than the medium one, you will have to have 22,000 max HP. But with the big potion being 3 times as expensive in terms of copper if you were to buy it, you actually needed some 90,000 max HP to get your copper worth of healing from this potion. So for the average player, I would still recommend you to keep using the medium potions because they are more copper efficient. Okay, so now that you know how to play your character, you're probably asking yourself, how do I get stronger? And there are so many ways of getting stronger, but I'm gonna cover in my opinion, 3 main ways of doing so. First up, obviously gear. My Lancer right now has around 50k power, 13 or so of that is just the gear. So obviously try to enhance where possible while not putting too much resources into items you will throw away anyway. Enhancements will be lost if upgrading an item. Conquest is going to be the next thing, where you basically upgrade different towers, different buildings to give you permanent stats, and that also kind of works as an in-game guide on what you should be focusing on while playing the game, because there are certain requirements you have to meet in order to upgrade them. Third one is going to be your training, your inner force and your constitution. Those give you massive boni. I said earlier my gear is 13k, my constitution is 8k, so almost just as much as my gear. Okay, so you handled these issues pretty well. You've been playing on auto for some time, but now you want to get into the game for real, play manually, and you want to know which skills to use and which to upgrade. As for upgrading, as I said yesterday in my Lancer guide, I would recommend you to upgrade all of them at the same time, get all of them to tier 2, then all of them tier 3, all of them tier 4. The first few levels are just damage, and you use all of your skills anyway, and they get more expensive as you go, so just upgrade whatever is currently the cheapest. Which skills to use is pretty easy to spot, even if you don't really know your class well. Just look for these lines. There are skills that do apply a certain status effect, and then there are skills that deal bash damage if a certain status effect is applied. Bash damage basically is just additional damage. And combining these two skills with one another will form your main rotation, as you could call it. Okay, so you played for like a day or two and Tilly said you need to get gear to get stronger, so you're trying to craft rare gear, but it seems that something is not working as intended. You have all of the materials, but when you go to the craft menu, the dragon material seems to not register. That's because there's two different items basically doing the same. Check out this merchant or this craftsman here in Bensound Castle, and he will craft the item for you. The next thing I want to talk about is the Codex. So as much as you would like to use all of your uncommon items and try the 10% luck roll to boost them up to a rarity, I would suggest you to put all of your uncommons that you get into the Codex. They will be permanently lost forever, the items, but if you acquire sets, you will gain bonus stats that last you forever. So do not take the RNG roll, just take the save power and move on. You're probably playing with one to many of your friends and you are in the same guild as them, but do not do the mistake that you stay in a guild where there's only like 5 active players. Move those 5 active players and join a bigger guild. There are certain rewards you get whenever one of your guildies is clearing a raid or is doing something. You yourself get rewards. I recently joined a guild that has max player, 50 people, and I get around 10k dark steel per day just by my guildies doing stuff. Not to mention all of the other materials, which are really huge. Okay, so you accidentally killed a player, or maybe not so accidentally, and now your name is red. You cannot use quick travel anymore, you gain less EXP. What do? A, don't kill other players, what are you doing? Second, you need to kill monsters that are within a 5 level range of you. For example, you're level 40, you have to kill monsters anywhere from 35 to 45, and you get 1 point back per monster that you kill. You could also hunt for other red names, and you gain 3 points for those players, but the monsters are usually how most people are doing it. You will have to get your points back to minus 499 to be considered a good player yet again. Okay, let's talk about dungeons and raids. Raids first, they're pretty straightforward. There's a boss raid, 1 per day, there where you group up with 14 other players to form a 50-player raid and tackle one enemy. You can do them once a day. Yes, the regular raids, you can do them 2 times per day, a 3rd time if you upgrade your conquests, 5-player groups. And I would suggest you to do the highest difficulty that you can complete for sure, because in the raid and also the dungeons later on, if you leave after entering, you will lose the ticket and not gain rewards for that day. So aim for one that you can complete for sure, so you're just not wasting that entry. About the magic square, it is your best place to farm EXP or copper. There are actually 2 different chambers. For EXP, there's obviously the EXP chamber, but also the training chamber. The difference is player killing is not available in the trainings chamber. So if you can't be bothered by people getting angry at you for killing other monsters, try to fish for the training chamber because you will be by yourself and no one can touch you. Much like there is on the gold chamber, which is obviously your way to farm copper in this game, there is an equivalent that is not player killing related. It is called white silver. So white silver and training. If you're one that really hates PvP, then try to fish for these 2. My hidden pro tip for these, by the way, is the magic stone chamber, since Within a 30-minute time frame, which is 1 ticket, you can actually get 5 rare magic stones and like anywhere from 20 to 30 uncommon magic stones. You can use the uncommon stones at first to finish up your Codex, as I said earlier, for more power, and then try to combine them into rares. Rares actually really huge power boosts. You can also turn them into Codex to get more free stuff, and if you even finish that, more epic stones for you to try for. The secret peak is different because there's only really one area, so no randomized teleportation. And I would suggest you to really group up with either friends or guildies to go there and hunt down the bosses. This is basically the best thing to do in there, because the boss drops are actually pretty huge, but do be aware that you have to loot a chest after killing the boss. Not everyone that participates in the killing will get something. That's why you want to be in a group, because if you're by yourself, it happened to me a bunch, even though I'm kind of strong with my 50k power, when there's just a group of 3 players that only, in quotation mark, have like 35k power, I kind of struggle to get something because they just obviously team up on me. So if you can't kill bosses, then the next best thing would to kill as many of the small monsters as possible. Maybe you just don't care about the gameplay and you started playing the game because of Draco. Here's the most important information. You gotta be level 40, I guess you already know about that, in order to exchange your Darksteel onto Draco. I should be showing it on screen right now where you'll find the menu for that. Do be aware it gets more expensive every day to transfer. And you may also be running multiple accounts. Do be aware that you can only link one wallet, Wemix wallet, to one WeMade account. So if you are running 3 accounts at the same time trying to mine Darksteel, you will also need 3 Wemix wallets. But that is already all of the important things that I think you need to know when starting out with Mir4. I obviously only scratched the surface on some of these. I could go into much greater detail, which I may even do later on, but raising awareness for all of these issues at the start I think is already really important. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching this video. As I said earlier, if you liked it, do consider either subscribing, following. If you liked it that much, maybe even do both of them. But for now, I see you, and until next time, bye.